All right. Hello, my name is Iman. I am a fourth year biomedical engineering student in DCU, and I'm just going to give you a well, fairly quick kind of run over of what biomedical engineering is like and what we do, what I've done in DCU, my 4 years of experience here. Um, just put this out there. I'll be taking any questions kind of once I'm done with my presentation, just so I don't head off track and get distracted because I need to focus. But yeah, just if you have any questions, feel free to type them out and I'll come back into this and answer them all once I'm done. So we'll just start off here. So just course details. It's an undergraduate course. I think the minimum points required is 533. The only subject requirements that are needed is a H4 in mathematics or a H4 in applied maths with a H5 in mathematics. I said it's a 4-year course and it has a placement as part of its academic grade. I will talk about that a bit more in detail as slideshow goes on. So, biomedical engineering. Biomedical engineering is, I feel like in the name, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's engineering of biomedical devices or biology-based engineering. So as I said here, it provides interdisciplinary learning opportunities at the interface between engineering design, biological science, and medicine. So it's kind of the reason why I came into it is because I was really hooked on biology in living. So I loved it. I found it super interesting, but I didn't quite want to go into like the medicine field or into the biological science. And I figured that biomedical engineering is a nice kind of in between part because I also really had a lot of interest in engineering as well. So this is like a nice middle ground. So just for like brief overview, if you think of biomedical engineering, think of implants, surgical devices, medical imaging, as you see here, tissue engineering, biomechanics, rehab, all those kind of things under biomedical engineering. So it's a 4-year course normally, but DCU has an option, which is what I'm doing, called the Integrated Masters, where you do your bachelor's degree and your master's degree as one 5-year course. So instead of having to do the 4 years and graduate the bachelor's and then reapply for a 1-year master's, I'm just doing the straight 5 years. I'll do one final year project in 5th year, and I'll graduate both my bachelor's and master's degree. So that's basically what integrated masters is. I think it's really handy because I kind of came in thinking that, oh yeah, I definitely want a master's, but I wouldn't want to graduate because then I lose the motivation to want to get my master's once I leave classes basically once I graduate. It's great because there are benefits like the academic work placement is called intra placement. We have a longer intra placement. We only have to do one final year project in 5th year instead of one project in 4th year and then a second and 5th year. And this is kind of like a more advanced thing, but it gives us, once I graduate with my master's degree, I'll officially be recognized as a chartered engineer, which is like under Engineers Ireland status is basically a chartered engineer is someone that is recognized as an official engineer in several countries across the world. So instead of having to, for instance, if I want to work somewhere in the EU, France, Germany, I don't know. But if I want to work somewhere else, I wouldn't have to go there and apply to become a recognized engineer because I'd have the status already. And the only requirement to get into the integrated master's program is to have an average grade equals to a H22, which is 50% overall, which is like first and second year is not the most difficult things. So 50% overall is a pretty easy and achievable grade. So the biomedical engineering pathway in DCU, just as I mentioned before, so you can see here on the screen, you do first year and your second year. Then your second year, if you don't want to do the integrated masters, you go into third year, have your intra placements, go into 4th year, graduate, and then you can go into the master's program in 5th year. If you do choose to take the integrated master's pathway, after second year, you go third year, have your two academic work placements. It says 2 here, but it's really, the first one is 6 months, the second one is 4 months, so 10 months in total. But it's class under two. It's split into third and fourth. It's split across 2 years, so it's 2 placements basically. You do third year, fourth year, and your final fifth year. So the classes, the modules we have, the modules we have in first year, the way first year works is all the engineering courses do the same classes in first year. So no matter if you, so it's a general entry course in the first year, which means that if you don't know what engineering that you're more inclined to or you want to further your education with, you can apply for general entry, get in, then after first year, you then get to choose if you want to do biomedical engineering, if you want to do mechanical engineering, there's sustainability engineering, electrical engineering, and mechatronic, which is mechanical and electrical. But then after, so if you don't come in on a specific pathway, even if you do actually, I had friends that came in biomedical engineering or mechanical, and after first year, everyone has a chance to change what they're doing. So it's almost a guarantee. It's done by grades, but it's pretty much a guaranteed choice that you will get what you want to get after first year. Well, a few highlights for first year. In my project and technical drawing, we had a project where we had to make what's called an AGV, is an automated guided vehicle. So in the picture on the right hand side, everything that's metal in that picture we cut out, we bent, we screwed together, we punched holes in, we filed to smoothen edges. The main frame of it, the electrical parts, all the wiring, all the soldering, we assembled effectively the entire little robot here. And the point of this was it's meant to follow a white line on like a black floor. So you have to code in the controls, tell it move forward to do a 3-point turn, tell it how to turn, instruct it. And it is a really good introduction to engineering in taught in general because it's actually really fun as a project and it takes up pretty much all of your second semester of first year. And the picture on the left is just a circuit that I built from from circuits basically. And that module is what helped me know that I really do not ever want to go into electrical engineering because I did not have fun in that class. It was interesting in the labs, but I found it difficult and just in general not great for me. In second year, we have the modules on the side. The ones I want to point out that kind of stood out to me were thermal fluid mechanics, which is the picture with the bolts in it on the left. We had to design, draw out, 3D print a small boat, as you can see, and the goal was for it to make it across 2 meters of water as fast as possible. So the small blue kind of pipe you see on the right side of that picture is a pipe system that we also have to print and design. So there's an inlet and outlet. You have to find the best place to attach to the boat have to do all the calculations to get the maximum velocity and maximum power coming out of that. The boat also has to be sturdy enough to obviously not leak because we had to do us in 2 pieces and attach them, not leak and to carry some weight, like carry the battery and carry a few other things just to prove that it will stay floating. On the right hand side is a picture of a tank support that we had to design in strength of materials. Once again, another draw design model. We didn't have to make this one, thankfully, because it's a bit difficult to make out of metal, but we had to do all the calculations behind how much strength, how much weight it could carry, how sturdy it would be, how easy it would be to make. But these are just 2 things I want to highlight. Also, just so I can draw attention to, in second year, we have anatomy and physiology and human movements. So those are like, this is when the biomedical part of the course that's entering our modules. So third year, I was in third year last year. Third year, we have more biomedical modules like immunology and cell biology. And that was actually pretty interesting. It's good. It's a lot of things I learned to that I have kind of not really seen in daily life, but it helped me broaden my perspective. But the main thing with third year that everyone looks forward to is the fireman projects from product design. And it's kind of a big project. It goes across the whole of third year where you have to design everything that you see in this picture. So this picture is a SolidWorks model of what my group made. The robot has to climb up ladder that's 2 meters long and carry 500 ml. So we had to first design all the parts in SolidWorks, assemble them, then creates a simulation that will show the robots actually climbing the ladder. Then we can actually get to cutting metal, 3D printing, and just assembling the robots. And it's really fun. We also have the intra-work placement, which I talked about before. So this is 6 to 10 months. 6 months if you don't do integrated masters, 10 months if you do. I actually just got off my intra placement, so I worked from March to December, and I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in a few slides. So these are the fourth year modules. I can't actually give you much on this because I only, as I said, I'm doing my intro. I did my intro placement, so I need to go back to my classes started today actually. So I haven't actually yet gotten into many of these classes, but because I am on the integrated masters classes, I don't have all these. I have I have biomaterials, and then I have operations, rehabilitations, and surgical device technology. I don't have to do a fourth year project. So the intra-work placement is a work, and so the main idea of it is for DCU to put the students out onto the actual working field for them to gain experience in their field or in a field that's related in some way to their field. I'll talk about what I did for my 6 months working. So I worked in the Waterford branch of a company called Sanofi. They're a global biopharma company. They're originated from France, and they specialize in making drugs for people with really rare diseases. The site I worked at, it was a filling. Okay, the site I worked at had two sectors. The first is vial filling with liquid products under sterile conditions. Then they freeze dried into like this white compact powder. And the second is monoclonal antibody therapies called MABs, which we actually learned about in the immunology module. So I was really happy that my knowledge from classes could actually be seen in the field. So those are injected under sterile conditions into syringes. My role was that I worked under the maintenance administrator, so I helped manage and just manage and watch over the site maintenance on the system. So all the maintenance requests would have to come through me. I'd have to sort them out, send them off to be scheduled, make sure they're carried out properly, and because it's kind of important, because if we don't have maintenance up to date at all times, equipment can fail, and if equipment's failing, we have downtime. And as a drug manufacturing site, if any of our equipment or machines is not working, it becomes a big problem. So we have to keep everything running 24/7. So careers that you could do with the biomedical engineering degree, I chose it because I know, especially in Ireland, there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies. For instance, we have AbbVie, Pfizer, I think I said that wrong, Sanofi, where I worked, AstraZeneca, MSD, and so many others. The two main career areas are healthcare industry and medical device companies. So I worked in the healthcare industry, but in either of those areas, you could be a clinical engineer, product development engineer, project engineer, quality engineer, or you could be in research and development, but there are so many more. For instance, I worked in what is like a relatively new department called reliability engineering, which is as the name sounds. I work on making sure all the equipment and stuff is reliable and just preventing downtime and making sure the site runs well. DCU also has a really high employment rates after graduation. That is also because a lot of the students have this intra placements, and for instance, I finished my intro placement in December, but I was offered a position for next summer, so I can go back. I'm going to be working there as a summer employee as well. And because students do so well on their intro placements, some of them are also offered jobs once they graduate, so graduate positions, which really helps with the whole employment rate, and it takes a lot of the pressure off trying to find a job once you graduate and just making sure that you basically have your life in order afterwards. But it's great that we get to have the experience with them as well. Yeah, that's the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, any slide I should go back on, just let me know, and I'll happily go back to them. All right, let's start kind of questions. At what point can you do the 5-year course? Oh, sorry. At what point can you choose to do the 5-year course? So as I said, after your second year, you have the option to if you have over a H22 or over 50%, you can just apply to go into the integrated master's course. It's literally as simple as going into your profile and they send out an email and you just put your name down and they switch you onto the course. Very simple. Do you have a spot in general engineering if you choose biomedical, like to drop out and change course? The only point we can change our course is after first year. So at the end of first year, if you don't want to, if you came in under biomedical engineering and you wanted to change to electrical or mechanical, you can change out free. You can change your course for free. But to drop out and change course, like change to a different course, like not engineering or like a different university, I'm not entirely sure about that because we don't really have. No, you can change between engineering courses after first year, but I wouldn't really know about changing to like a different course, like non-engineering course in DC or a different university. I couldn't quite answer that. If that, I'm not sure that answers your questions very well. Sorry about that. Oh no. Is there a possibility they won't let you change course after first year? I want to say basically no. So what happens is the people that enter, for instance, I came in biomedical engineering, they have a number of slots for each module. So let's say biomedical engineering has, I don't know, 40, 50 slots. If only 25 people come in under biomedical engineering, they have 25 more slots to fill if there are 50 left. And that's kind of how they're all arranged, it's all by demand and the maximums. So everyone can change course to a different engineering course after first year. And usually it's guaranteed that you will get the course you want to change to. If it is done by, like, I think it's done by grades. So if there's only 20 slots in biomedical engineering and 21 people want to get in, the people with the 20 highest grades get priority. And then you may get like your second or third pick, depending on what it is. Is the first year quite general? Does it cover all? Oh, okay. Yeah. So as Colette said here, so first year of engineering, I can actually go back to that slide just so I can show you all the modules. So the first year of engineering kind of covers engineering generally. So everything you see here, you have electronics, software development, mechanics, statics, first and technical drawing, engineering, maths, numerical problem solving. We do abroad, like the whole spectrum. We do things that are in electrical engineering, we do things that are in mechanical and manufacturing. We do things that are in mechatronics, like the coding. So the software development, we have to learn how to code. Basic science for engineering, that does chemistry, physics, biology. So they teach everything from scratch. It's the whole spectrum. What's the difference between the first year and general engineering? There's no difference. So even if you come in, like I had to do the same general engineering as everyone else. So everyone that comes in under engineering in DCU in first year, we all do the same classes. There's no difference at all. Even if on your ID you may say electrical engineering students in first year, you still have the exact same classes as people in biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, people who came on under general entry. So first year is exactly the same. Oh, and if you have any more questions for me, I can't answer them there. I do have a Unibuddy account, so you can just message me there and I will respond to you once I can. So don't feel pressure to put all your questions in here if you're not comfortable doing so. Thank you, Killian. Hope I pronounced that right. How hard is your course compared to the Leaving Cert? That's an interesting question because I would say that entering any course in university is a lot different to the Leaving Cert because it's a complete different way of learning and teaching, basically. It definitely is harder. Well, it kind of feels the same. If you have good discipline, it feels the same for me because I was like, oh, I'm free from like assignments and teachers being on my back for all my stuff. I at first kind of struggled to get all my work done because I'm so used to having that pressure. But it's kind of the same in the first year. You do kind of learn Leaving Cert-ish levels, like all the science stuff we did was Leaving Cert level. and we do some leaving cert, like in engineering math. Some of it is leaving cert math, so it's not terribly different. But I would say it is a bit harder. But anything you do in university is going to be on a higher level than what you're doing leaving certs. Would you be in separate engineering classes for the first year in accordance with your choice, or is everyone puts in the one lecture? Everyone is put in the one lecture. It's a good way to socialize and get to know who else is in the course with you, who else you could end up being, who else you could end up with in the class. But everyone's in the same lectures. The only time we're separated is if we have like labs or practicals and they can't fit us all in the same room. They put up a they go like, oh, group A, B, C, D, and they have 1 hour slots each, and then they're separated. But for everything else, everything's the same. It's nice for making friends, even though you don't see them as often in the next years. How many hours per week do you have lectures? Um, so usually, like I say in general, 9 to 5 is like the general time frame. As you go, it's like in first year, I was 9 to 5 every day. Second year, pretty much the same. In third year, I realized my schedule was then less intense. Like instead of me being like kind of like 40-ish hours weeks, I was looking at more of 30 hours. So let's say I'd be like 9 to 2 on Mondays, I'd be like 11 to 5 on Tuesdays. So I have less packed timetable. This year now, I am completely off on Mondays, which is why I have no classes on Mondays. Um, and I think I'm in kind of 9 to 2, kind of 10 to 4. I have more spaces, more gaps between my classes because I have less classes. But it's also a thing that we have a lot more work to do. So I'm spending a lot more time, or I'm going to spend a lot more time outside my classes doing self-study and assignments and things like that. So it balances off in that way. Do you have lectures for the 9 to 5, or does it include projects? The 9 to 5 includes lectures, tutorials, labs, practicals, kind of everything we do is not 9 to 5. Or academic things will fall between our 9 to 5. Now you will have to spend time obviously outside the 9 to 5 studying assignments, doing projects on your own. But they do for like if you have like for all the labs we had to build things or create things, there was assigned like 2 to 3 hour slots in your timetable for you to do that work. So they give you time to do your projects. Thank you. No problem. Thank you for attending, Karen. Yeah, if anyone has any more questions, just let me know. If not, you can message me on Unibuddy on the same name. No problem. Thank you for attending. Hope you have a nice, or I guess evening in this dark time, but have a nice evening.